why wouldn't Trump just take the call from Putin while the other leaders were in the room? He said it would be disrespectful to do that.
Well, Jim, yo mama's so fat, her shadow was mistaken for a safe space at the diversity conference. And you should know that already because she got stuck in the revolving door at the progressive think tank.
What's up, guys? Spenny. No matter what you think of the Trump administration, nothing can prepare you for what I'm about to show you. It is just simply the single greatest bit of presidential communication to the press in history. And that's saying a lot because just 48 hours ago, President Trump posted this banger. It's of President Trump in a plane that says, King Trump, he's flying an F-22 Raptor here, as he wears his crown and then dumps sewage on liberal protesters below. That sewage hits them right in the open mouth and right on their heads. And President Trump, of course, dumping poop on leftist protesters. The leftist protesters who are featured in this video, Harry Sisson, saying, can a reporter please ask Trump why he posted an AI video of himself dropping poop on me from a fighter jet? That would be great. To which the vice president says, I'll ask him for you, Harry. It's a really high bar. J.D. Vance also posted this video of Trump King on Blue Sky. So all I'm trying to say here is that the threshold is unbelievably high at this point. The Trump administration is just out here killing it. I'll ask him for you, Harry. But here we go. Caroline Levitt has entered the chat. White House gives a wild response to a simple question asked by a Huffington Post reporter. A simple query about Trump's choice of location for an upcoming meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin sets off the president's spokespeople. Let's read here from Huffington Post. After President Donald Trump touted yet another meeting with his benefactor, murderous dictator Vladimir Putin, just a straight news article here from Huffington Post. Don't worry. This time in Budapest, Huffington Post contacted his top spokespeople at the White House with an obvious question: why Budapest? After all, the Hungarian capital was the site of the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, in which Ukraine gave up thousands of nuclear weapons it had inherited upon the breakup of the Soviet Union in return for assurances that Russia would respect Ukraine's territorial integrity. Putin broke that promise in his 2014 invasion, annexing of Crimea. By the way, both of these happened under Democrat presidents. They failed to mention that. Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. Very strange here. With decade-long military offensive in the Donbass region and an all-out invasion in 2022. Another Democrat president. And would you look at that? Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden. Given all that, Huffington Post asked the White House, why Budapest? The White House press secretary, Caroline Levitt, responded minutes later with, your mom did. Let me do it just one more time. Given all that, Huffington Post asked the White House, who picked Budapest? White House press secretary Caroline Levitt responded, your mom did. White House communications director Stephen Chung, after a minute, added a far more succinct, your mom. Endorse the White House responding to every fake news media reporter with your mom. After the Huffington Post asked Levitt if she thought her response was funny, she replied, it's funny to me that you actually consider yourself a journalist. You are a far left-wing hack that nobody takes seriously, including your colleagues in the media. They don't tell you to their face. Stop texting me your disingenuous, biased, and bullshit questions. Huffington Post is devastated and is fearful of asking any more questions, let alone escalating with, I'm rubber, you're glue, or some such. That's it. That's the article. Your mom did. Your mom. Is it true? Well, Caroline Levitt has responded and said, yes, it is. SV Date, the Huffington Post reporter is not a journalist, she says. He's not interested in facts. He's a left-wing hack who has consistently attacked President Trump for years and constantly bombards my phone with Democrat talking points. Just take a look at SV Date's feed, and it reads like an anti-Trump personal diary. Here's my full response to his inquiry. Activists who masquerade as reporters are a disservice to the profession. Okay, so it looks like maybe he was asking some other thing. The president aware of Budapest, blah, blah, blah. Who suggested Budapest? Your mom did. Is this funny to you? Congratulations to the Huffington Post for eliciting the most legendary response from the White House. Your mom. Your mom. I love it. This is SV Date. SV Date. Okay. Got it. SV Date is truly like the definition of an activist in is masquerading as a reporter. The majority of Americans voted against Donald Trump last year. That is profoundly untrue. Donald Trump won 90% of American counties, the popular vote, all 7 swing states. The majority of Americans did not vote against Donald Trump last year. Donald Trump won the popular vote, you dumbass. This is the reporter. This is what he thinks of them. Funny, right? What? Yes, it is hilarious. This is one of the funniest memes around. It's a fighter jet pooping. Your tax dollars at work. Yeah. Dude, you got 5 reposts on this? 5. Seriously. She cannot be that ignorant. It's true. Like, look at the way that they tweet. Trump is having another meeting in Budapest. Huffington Post said, your mom. It's funny. It's funny. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen out of the White House. That's saying a lot. Every time you think they can't sink lower. Mehdi Hassan, a literal terrorist. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Have you guys not, do you guys not get the memo that we're allowed to make jokes again? That the year is 2025? Do you not know what time it is? Senior campaign official Stephen Chung trolls Huffington Post reporter when asked why Trump keeps calling Kamala. Why is he misspelling her name? Kamala. What does that mean? Kamala. Kind of using on the record? Kamala. People are loving it. They're saying, boom. She shuts them down. This is exactly how press secretary handled these leftist trolls. Caroline is amazing. Yes, making New Hampshire proud. Why? And didn't he report on the full exchange? Yeah, that's true. Slay. Got him. I really like the chain. I really like the Iron Man style chain there. Good. Oh, Caroline Leavitt. How do you even pick her greatest clapback? It's like it's impossible, really. Which one shall we play? Let's do this, where Caroline Leavitt is speaking to Scott Pressler here, and has a big problem. She explains how she's going to treat the fake news in one of her first days at the White House. It's perfect. Here we go.
I don't think for you. Which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification name server. And Apple has recognized that, Google has recognized that, pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America, and it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world. Sure.